Hello and welcome to this week's Ruby Shoes podcast, bringing you the very best of local entertainment across East Anglia each and every week. This week on the Ruby Shoes podcast, we hear about a youth dance festival happening this weekend. I've been chatting to one of Hermans Hermits ahead of their appearance at the Spa Pavilion in Felixstowe this month, and we've got not just one but two theatre reviews for you, plus as always a roundup of some of the region's top shows coming your way soon, which you won't want to miss. A live festival aimed at young people is coming to Dance East this Saturday, the 9th of November, and it's called Dance East Youth Fest. It'll be on from 1 until 6 p.m. at the Jerwood Dance House on the Ipswich waterfront. All kinds of dance activities will be happening all under one roof, and it's being organised by Dance East Youth Fest planning team. Joining me now is Millie Powell, one of Dance East audience ambassadors for young people. Hello, Millie.
Hello.
Thanks so much for joining me. Tell me, first of all, Millie, how do you get to become an audience ambassador for young people?
It kind of just came about because basically I've been dancing with Dance East for many, many years, since I was only like 3 years old. And so I've kind of been involved with Dance East and lots of projects. And then this opportunity came up and I've only just finished uni, which I studied doing dance. So I thought this was the perfect opportunity to just see what it's about and like share my love for dance. And because I'm a young person too, just connect with more young people who have things in common with me.
Oh, definitely. I think you're absolutely perfectly placed to fulfill this role. And what about this weekend for the Youth Fest? What are what will your roles involve, do you think?
Lots of different things, really. That's like something which really interests me about it because we're planning different things, but we're also networking with others, just talking to so many different types of people, not just dancers, but people that do art and music. So all of those different collaborations are coming together, but also finding new skills myself by being like a producer, being that type of person where so I'm used to dancing myself or teaching dance. So to take a step back from that and to like lead it and to plan different things is quite a new and exciting thing for me. So there's lots of different things which involve being a part of this planning team.
Brilliant. Now, amazing activities as well. You've got dancing taster sessions and obviously a dance floor. But you've also got live DJs and a digital dance technology and a stage costume dressing up corner with a runway. Wonderful. And then craft experiences and art exhibition. So much happening that afternoon. I think it's going to be very popular. I think this is the third year that you've run it, is it?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. I think it's nice that we have lots of different things because even though firstly we were thinking of it just being like a dance festival, but then the more we thought about it, it would be nice to have these different elements. So if dance isn't quite your thing, there's other things to do and they all kind of all come together to like share dance as a whole. So even like the drawing workshops still have an element of dance relating to them. So you can go into the studio and like draw people as they're dancing. So it's all linked together. But it's nice just to have such a different range of things.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the kind of the main purpose, I think, behind the event is for young people, as you just said, whether you dance or not, to come together and experience the real joy and the power of dance, which I think is a fantastic thing to do. And also kind of celebrate how it makes you feel and how it connects us all. And I think that's what dance does really well. Tell me about your dance journey and where are you at the moment? You said you've just finished uni, you've been studying it. What's the sort of the next thing for you personally?
I don't really know. That's kind of why I wanted to like do these different things like volunteering and taking on all these different types of things still relating to dance because I think it just opens me up to so many different like pathways I can take. I think my biggest goal probably would be to be able to perform myself, maybe touring even in the country or around the world, just dancing. But I think having these other skills is really useful because I've never really thought about, producing, but since doing this festival, it's actually really interested me. So I'm just open to everything at the moment, which is quite exciting.
It must be. It sounds exciting. So many things happening on the over that afternoon. You've got things like a 45-minute workshop, which is offering yoga. You've got tasters of different dance styles, including contemporary and Bollywood, jazz, commercial fusion, interactive dance sessions. You've got Rebecca Pell Evans and Simon East. They're going to deliver a wearable interactive sound session, exploring ways of making sound with movement. So things like using a Flowful smartwatch to generate and manipulate and move sound around different speakers from a flick of the wrist to more complex choreography. I mean, that takes some planning, I should imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, the amount of times we had to switch things around because so many people wanted to get on board, which is amazing. Like we had people coming to us saying, "Oh, it'd be great if I could like do something involving all these different things." And because Dances has such a network of people available, it's just amazing to have so many of these different things. And sometimes it can be a bit like stressful, like planning all these things, but it's definitely going to work out, and I'm very excited.
I bet you are. And then at the end of the afternoon, I mean, why not? Festival DJ is going to encourage people to hit the dance floor. So that's going to be amazing. What's one of the highlights that you're particularly looking forward to? You know, once all the planning's done and it's actually happening, what's something that you'd particularly like to enjoy on the afternoon?
Probably what you just said at the very end. I think our idea was to just, no matter what you've done that day, whether or not it's some drawing or some making some costumes or dancing, just to bring everyone together at the end and to just celebrate being young, dancing together, and just watching other people, being inspired by other people, just having fun, just boogieing and just listening to some music. I'm really excited just to see all this planning that we've done and for it to all finally round up with this gorgeous, just lots of people dancing. I'm very excited.
It sounds perfect. You mentioned the fact that if you're not into dancing, you've also got movement drawing, sketching workshops. That's by Olivia Starr, a stage costume dress up corner with styling support, and a catwalk opportunity. Who doesn't love a catwalk opportunity? You know, anybody would, wouldn't they? And you've also got at the festival, you're going to be screening dance films and displaying artwork and photography by local young artists. And there's going to be arts and crafts materials. So just so much happening on the afternoon. Do people have to book for this, Millie? Can they just turn up?
Oh yeah, it's completely free. Everything is. So you can just come along whenever. It's between 1 and 5 p.m. So you can kind of just come whenever. Some of the things are planned, but that's on the website or on social media if you're not quite sure when to come for like a specific time slot. But other than that, for a lot of the different events we've got, you can just come whenever, join in. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. You can just leave whenever and try something else. That's what we wanted, to just pop in, pop out, try all these different things. And yeah.
Oh, they're definitely going to enjoy that. Now, this is for young people, hence the reason it's called a youth fest. I can't come along, sadly. But what age are you kind of aiming this at?
We're aiming for between 14 and 25-year-olds, but obviously just young people in general. That's the main kind of gist. So if you're young at heart, that's what matters.
I'm definitely young at that, but yeah, I think I'll leave it to the young people to do this. To find out more and look at the full programme, obviously go to the Dance East website, or as Millie's just said, look on their socials. So it's danceeast.co.uk, or just look up Dance East and you can find out. It's the Youth Fest. It's this coming weekend and it's the afternoon. So that's the 9th of November. Millie, it sounds brilliant. And I'm sure your input into this year's festival is going to be fantastic as well, and enjoy that final dance session, you know, when it's all over and you can just literally go for it. So enjoy that, and thanks for talking to us today for the Ruby Shoes podcast.
Oh, thank you so much.
As part of the Hermans Hermits 60th anniversary tour, they're coming to perform at the Spa Pavilion in Felixstowe on Friday the 15th of November. They remain one of the biggest selling bands of the 60s, not just in the UK, but all around the world. The band have chalked up 23 hit singles, 10 hit albums, and appeared on 3 major movies, and have sold in excess of 75 million records worldwide.
Woke up this morning feeling fine. Had some something special on my mind. Last night I met a new girl in the neighborhood. Oh yeah.
Nice to be with you, Stephanie. Nice to be with you.
Oh, thank you. Now, first of all, nice, easy one for you. Describe for our listeners where you're sitting right now, what you can see.
What I can see,
Whereabouts are you? Where are you sitting?
I'm sat in what used to be a garage is now an office. I'm looking at a terrible mess. There's papers everywhere. I am not very organised, but that's what I'm looking at. Bit of a mess.
Bit of a floor filer, are you? You got your files
Yes,
on the floor.
certainly. Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. And is this a home office? Are you based at home today?
Yes, I do most of the bookings through my at home, and it seems to work out okay. I've been doing it for years.
Well, I should imagine being out on the road as well. It's nice to spend time at home. And whereabouts is home? I don't mean your address. We're not going to send your fax.
I live in Cheadle, South Manchester, about 4 miles from Manchester Airport, which is very convenient for me.
I bet. Fantastic. Now, when you are out on tour, Barry, tell me 3 things that you just like to take with you to just make things a bit easier for you. It might be your own pillow, I don't know. It might be your own tea bag, something you like to take with you.
The charger for my phone is for one. And I travel around with a practice pad. It's a piece of rubber stuck to a piece of wood, and I practice my drum rudiments on it. Sometimes, and I do that before the shows, loosen up the wrists. And what else do I carry around? I used to carry around a lot of things like tea bags, and I don't do that anymore. Yeah, that's about it. A practice pad and drumsticks, hairdryer, of course, most important, and
your phone charger.
Sorry?
And your phone charger.
Yeah, your phone charger, dead right. I must have left about 100 over the time in hotel rooms. And whenever you go down to the desk, is anyone left a charger in the room? No, there's nobody. I don't know who's got all these these phone chargers, but it was better than the 60s. You didn't have any phones in the rooms.
No, I know. You didn't have to worry about things like that.
No. It's very expensive if you're in America and you're phoning home.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because you've been touring and working literally since the 60s with Hermans Hermits, how do you keep yourself fit and healthy, especially when you're out on the road?
Just playing the drums, it does it. Yeah. I try to walk at a faster pace, but I'm slowing down a bit in my old age. It's like an hour and a half, 2-hour workout on the drums. Every time we do a show is a good, what you call a vascular workout.
Oh, it is, isn't it? It's really, really physical being a drummer, most definitely. And tell me, Barry, what do you like to do when you're not being Barry Whitwam of the Hermans Hermits?
Well, I used to like gardening. When the pandemic kicked in, mine was the neatest garden in the country. I'm sure it was. But after the pandemic, I've slowed down a bit now. The backache is getting in there, and but I try and do some gardening, keep it under control, and I like keeping my car nice and clean. I've got a Range Rover. I like that to be nice and shiny and black it is, with tinted windows. I've always been a bit of a petrol head, so. Yeah, I don't do much anymore. I used to play golf a lot, but I've had keyhole surgery in both shoulders, so that slowed me down a bit.
Well, that'll be wearing out those shoulder joints with the drumming, I imagine.
I would think it was, yes. Yeah. Occupational hazard.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I still get out there and try and get a good walk in, out in the fresh air.
Brilliant. Now, your hits include things like There's a Kind of Hush, you've got Mrs. Brown, you've got Lovely Daughter, you've got No Milk Today, of course, Wonderful World, so many hits. I've actually seen Hermans Hermits play before. As a band, you're all incredible musicians, and it was a fantastic night out. You really got the audience going. Tell me more of what the audience can expect when you come to the Spa Pavilion in Felixstowe next month, Barry.
Well, we start off with our biggest number one in England, and we do something good. People usually save the biggest ones to the end, but we just get straight in there, and it's a great opener, and we do something good. And then we do a lot, as you say, we do a lot of the hits, and we do the first show will be about 50 minutes, 20-minute break. People can have a drink, we can have a lie down, and and then we do about an hour. And the band's have probably changed since you last saw it. I've got three great musicians. The front in the band is Jamie Thurston. He's a bass player and a great singer. On lead guitar, there's John Somerton, a fabulous singer as well, fabulous guitarist. And on keyboards, guitar, and vocals, there's Tony Young. He's a fantastic. He used to be Jerry and the Pacemakers MD for 25 years, so he knows what he's doing.
Oh, wow. So you've got some good people around you as well. Obviously, they've got a fantastic drummer.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, well, Barry, it's been lovely to talk to you for the Ruby Shoes podcast. If you want to get tickets, it's Spa Pavilion box office is 01394 284 962, or you can book online at spapavilion.uk. Good luck with this current tour.
Stephanie, it's going to be a fantastic night. It really is.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
We've also been so busy these past 7 days with back-to-back events, including co-hosting the fireworks on the main stage for Suffolk Sound at Christchurch Park last Saturday night with breakfast show presenter from Suffolk Sound, Rob Dunger. However, we still managed to fit in a couple of shows to review, starting with After the Act at the New Wolsey Theatre last week. Tonight, I find myself in Ipswich at the New Wolsey Theatre, about to see After the Act, a Section 28 musical. Yes, I did say musical. Dealing with a really, really tough subject, but actually turning it into music. I don't know how this is going to go. It promises to be fizzy, fiery, and give you the musical feels. So I'll let you know. Well, I've just come out from After the Act. What an incredible piece of theatre. So cleverly put together. Cast of four, really energetic, an emotive piece of theatre, but just a fabulous watch. Really, really good. You would never think that something as important as Section 28 could be turned into a musical, and I really hope it reaches out to as many places and theatres as possible and educates people, because it's not only the people that lived through that and were affected by it, but it's the generations that go on that need to know about it and need to know how important it is that everybody gets to live their life exactly as they want to, as who they are. They don't have to feel they have to change to be more accepted by society. Honestly, I can't tell you how good it was. One of the actors at one point turned herself into Maggie Thatcher and actually sang a speech that Maggie gave back in the sort of late 80s, early 90s. You wouldn't believe it, and that's just so good. And the audience cheered. It was absolutely brilliantly done. Well done to Billy Barrett. He was the director. We interviewed him on the last Ruby Shoes podcast. He said he'd probably never do a musical again. I hope that's not the case, because it was fabulous. And I would look forward to seeing some more of his theatre productions as well. Really, really good. Well done to the Wolsey as well for being the host of it. Just fabulous. The whole thing, really good. But if you get a chance, go and see it elsewhere as it tours the UK currently at the moment After the Act. Last night we were at the Spa Pavilion watching James Phelan as part of his The Dreamer Tour. He's famous for jamming the BBC switchboard and predicting the lottery. He's also the nephew of the late great magician Paul Daniels. James Phelan brought his 5-star rated magic show to the Spa, and we talked about how, whilst his show is completely different to his late uncle's show, his style and his warmth on stage is reminiscent of the hugely popular magician who trod those boards himself and many others before him.
It's really interesting. So I came here, and all of the texts here were the texts here when he came here, but also when Debbie had her ballet here.
Yeah.
And so it's lovely. And like, less so now because more time's passed and people have moved on. But when I first started touring the show, I'd go into venues and people would talk about it, and it was so lovely. And also, more importantly, it's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of what the show's about, really, is I kind of just always knew it was possible, which is lovely. But I speak to Debbie every day, and I go, Debbie, I've had a thought about the show. What do you think?
She must be so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm me and Debbie. So Debbie's my mum's sister, and they're like peas in a pod. So I see Debbie all the time and talk to Debbie about every up and down and all of the different parts of the show, and it's really lovely.
Yeah.
But it's nice for me to have that to bounce off, really.
I brought my daughter tonight to watch it with my husband, and my daughter actually said, do you know what's really nice about him? He's got a really lovely way about him on stage. And I said, you won't remember Paul Daniels, but that's exactly what Paul's like. Just a real showman. You just love watching him. So well done. And we hope to see you back here again.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. James's show was enigmatic and spellbinding, and he was such a natural way about him. It was very enjoyable, yet incredible to watch. The audience were entertained and shocked, I think, in equal measure. I won't tell you about the show's content, as I don't want to spoil it. All I will say is when the envelopes come out, dive in quick, as we missed our chance. James Phelan will be back in East Anglia next April at the Theatre Royal in Bury St Edmunds on Thursday the 3rd. For more details, go to his website, thedreamerlive.com. Trust me, you will be spellbound. Now, next week we chat to Rachel Sloane ahead of her return to treading the boards for the Trinity Players in Gaslight. Rachel's playing one of the lead roles at Felixstowe Methodist Church at Trinity on the 14th, 15th and 16th of November from 7:30. Gaslight is written by Patrick Hamilton. It's a classic Victorian thriller, and it's all about a husband who manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind. So we'll hear more from Rachel on that next week, but in the meantime, I'd book your tickets in advance as it promises to be an edge-of-your-seat experience. Just search Trinity Players online or give them a phone for your tickets on 01394 285 305. They're also raising funds for the Lighthouse Women's Aid this year. Here are even more great shows you just might like to check out.
What's on across Suffolk with Stephanie McIntyre. Sponsored by Ruby Shoes Podcast, your weekly entertainment news podcast. Available from your smart speaker, Apple, Spotify, or you just follow Ruby Shoes Podcast on Facebook and click on the weekly podcast link to listen.
There's a host of great shows on offer across Suffolk's magnificent theatres, and here's just a selection to tempt you. Monday the 11th of November at the Apex Theatre in Bury St Edmunds, don't miss your chance to witness one of the world's most prolific fiddle groups, Blazing Fiddles. They originally formed for a one-off tour of the Scottish Highlands in 1999 and are still raising roofs far and wide well over 2 decades later. Encompassing a rare and virtuosic selection of fiddle's diverse Highland and Island voices, with ensemble and solo-led sets both backed by a powerhouse guitar and piano performance. The Blazers pack all the power and passion and sensitivity of Scotland's traditional music into a single show. Go to theapex.co.uk to get those final remaining tickets. Friday the 15th of November at the Ipswich Regent Theatre, Champagne for Lulu is a massive celebration with Lulu as you've never seen her before, as well as her farewell tour. Celebrating her turning 75 last year and 60 years since she stormed into the UK charts with her iconic hit Shout and became a national treasure. The show sees Lulu go beyond the bubbles, delivering the performance of a lifetime, energetic, effervescent and emotional. This will be an experience to remember. For your tickets, go to ipswichtheatres.co.uk. Also on Friday the 15th of November, this time at the Spa Pavilion in Felixstowe from 8 p.m, Hermans Hermits are one of the biggest selling bands of the 60s, not just here in the UK but around the world. From their early beginnings in Manchester in '64, the band have chalked up 23 hit singles, 10 hit albums and appeared on 3 major movies, would you believe, and have sold in excess of 75 million records worldwide. On the night you can expect to hear There's a Kind of Hush, Silhouettes, Can You Hear My Heartbeat, No Milk Today, Wonderful World, A Must to Avoid, Mrs Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter and many more. Don't miss this rare opportunity to see the 1960s legends in action. Go to spapavilion.uk to get your tickets. And finally, on Saturday the 16th of November at the Leiston Film Theatre, DS UK Alchemy Tour 2024. You're invited to experience the magic of Mark Knopfler's incredible band Dire Straits, performed by 6 world-class musicians and admirers of the incredible work of Dire Straits. Featuring 2 decades of timeless music, you'll definitely hear the classics Money for Nothing and Sultans of Swing, and so many more. For your tickets, go to leistonfilmtheatre.co.uk. Don't forget, you can always get in touch with us via our Facebook page at Ruby Shoes Podcast. We'd love to hear about your forthcoming plays, your comedy, or perhaps your panto, so we can tell everybody else. And you can listen again to any of the Ruby Shoes podcasts via Apple or Spotify, or just go onto our Facebook page and click on the podcast links. You can follow us there too for all the latest entertainment news. I'm Steph McIntyre. Thanks for listening. We'll chat more about live theatre and all kinds of entertainment next week. In the meantime, check out our socials at Ruby Shoes Podcast. We're on Twitter or X, Facebook and Instagram. We'd love you to follow us there too, and have a great week.